assignment is to draw me 3 eggs. The reason I choose to do this assignment with my students, and I've done it for years, is because it's a great way for us to remember all the things we know about placement, overlapping, and how to shade objects that are sitting on a table. And the final thing, the reason I choose 3 eggs, they're very similar to a sphere, probably one of the most important shapes we need to learn to draw in art with shading. At home, you got these kinds of pencils sitting around. So a number 2 pencil, totally fine for this assignment. If you have any kind of drawing pencil, like we use ebony pencils, these are the best. Please do not use a mechanical pencil for any kind of shading work. It's almost impossible with a mechanical pencil to get anything other than lines. You can't quite get your shading to happen. The only time these are helpful with this particular assignment is if you want to use it for your outlines. So setting that aside, I'd like you to set 3 eggs on the table, but of course, if you just happen to not have any eggs, or maybe you don't like eggs, that's fine. I've taken some photographs and put them on the page for you to look at. Now, as I start drawing here, I would assume you're having a little bit of a hard time seeing what I'm drawing. That's good. We don't want big, heavy, dark outlines around our eggs. There is no black outline around an egg in real life. So our goal is to always learn to draw without an outline, not a big black line, if you're trying to make something look realistic. I can go ahead and make these darker for you guys if you, to make it a little bit easier for you to see them, so you can see the shape of the egg. Of course, we know an egg is a little bit wider at one end and narrower at the other end. I'm not going to keep doing that. I don't want you guys to see an outline when I'm done with this. The other thing I did is I started to draw my eggs. Eggs don't stand up. I guess in a rare moment you might be able to make an egg stand up vertically, but they tend to flop over on their sides. So to look realistic, your eggs should be sideways. They could be at a slight angle. I also want to see overlapping and placement. So let me go ahead and darken this egg in so we can definitely see it on the screen here. This egg is in front of that egg. You must show me some overlapping. It's blocking that egg. It's also drawn correctly because if it's overlapping, it's in front of it. To be in front of it, it must sit lower on the paper. So show me that that egg is closer to you by having it lower on the paper than that egg. Last thing that we know about doing a little still life like this is that we should be including a horizon line. Where's the edge of the space? So basically it's just the edge of the table, and it should be up higher than any of your eggs. It could be here. I could draw my horizon line right here, but as long as it's above where that egg is sitting on the tabletop, that point right there, as long as it's higher than that, it will be correct. We need the horizon line to define that space, to show us where the edge of the table is. And I want to see different values. Don't forget to shade the background because we're going to assume that you have put a light source on your eggs. When I took the photographs of my eggs, I put a flashlight on them. You could also, if you're setting up your own eggs, please try putting them near a window with a really bright light source. You could move a lamp around so that you also have really strong shadows. And our cast shadows are going to sit here. So that's what I'm sketching in now is the shape of my cast shadows for these eggs. Of course, they're sort of round. They're underneath. And my light source was coming from the side here. So the shadow is scooting out over to the opposite side. That also means for each egg, it's going to be lighter here and darker over there. So that's the next thing we're going to think about is how do we shade our sphere, our egg in this case, so that it looks round. We have to make sure our blending is perfect. So I'm going to go ahead here and just start working through this drawing. You can watch me if you want. If you think you understand exactly what you're doing, you of course can just turn this off. I have an example on the screen for you of my final egg drawing. And I've got photographs for you to choose from. Or you can go set up your own eggs, which is ideal. It's a better practice as an artist to be looking at a real thing.